Anybody not ready? All right, good afternoon. I'm Pinellas County Sheriff Bob Gualtieri, and we're here to announce the arrest of Randall Drake. Drake is a 24-year-old male who resides at 1234 Royal Oak Drive in Dunedin. He's lived there since 2014. Previously, he lived in Tampa. He lives there at that address with his parents. Back in January of 2017, the Sheriff's Office began a child pornography investigation in which Drake was a suspect. During the course of the investigation, we established probable cause that he had child pornography and was distributing child pornography, and that he had that within his home. Last night, Sheriff's detectives served a search warrant related to the child pornography investigation at the residence on Royal Oak Drive in Dunedin. While serving the search warrant, detectives found in a closet in the residence in Randall's bedroom several firearms, explosives, and other incendiary devices. In fact, there were 3 incendiary devices, and we'll run through these with you here in a second. 3 incendiary devices that were within the home. 2 of them were made of metal cylinders, cigar tubes that contained gunpowder and wicks for detonation. The 3rd was a plastic tube that was wrapped in tape with a fuse. Members of the Hillsborough County Bomb Squad responded and took custody of the explosive devices. In addition to all of the firearms and explosive devices, detectives found, and this is troubling, found within Drake's property and within his bedroom maps of Esrig Elementary School in Tampa, Ben Hill Middle School in Tampa, and the Hillsborough County Water Treatment Center. Detectives also found several handwritten journals regarding improvised munitions handbooks, military instruction manuals, computers, and what is really a very troubling handwritten letter that was authored by Drake. That letter, which is over here on my right, and this is in his handwriting, and we've transcribed it, reprinted it here at the bottom because it's hard to read. And what he wrote is, "The daughters come and I am ready. I have fed on my hatred for centuries. My fury at those who imprisoned me shall be vast and without mercy. I shall have my bloody revenge, and then the world will burn, burn." Also, within the collection of all these firearms, detectives found a silencer that was made from an oil can. And I'm just going to give you a summary of these firearms. And probably one of the most high-powered ones that were there is this one, which is an AK-47. And that magazine that it has on there is about a 60-round clip. There's also a 12-gauge shotgun, 308 caliber rifle, a 50 caliber pistol, which is huge, and numerous other handguns. About 15 knives, a baseball bat with protruding nails, a crossbow, brass knuckles, a container of gunpowder, and numerous other pieces of evidence. And on top of it, he had over 2,300 rounds of ammunition with all of these guns. So Randall was arrested, booked into the Pinellas County Jail, and charged with 2 counts of unlawfully making or possessing a destructive device. He's currently in jail. His bond's $20,000. Randall appears to be, as we would refer to, as a sleeper. We have no criminal intelligence information on him. He has no criminal history, no background. He was a police explorer at one point at the Tampa Police Department. He's no longer affiliated with the Tampa Police Department. No record of him being a student in Hillsborough County or Pinellas County, and the parents say that he was homeschooled since he was in the 3rd grade. He recently worked at the, not recently really, back in 2015, he worked at a firearms store. Parents moved from Hillsborough County to here in Pinellas County in 2014, and we really don't have anything on him, again, as far as contact with the sheriff's office. With the volume of these firearms, the high capacity of these firearms, the over 2,300 rounds of ammunition, and the fact that he made these explosive devices. These are the explosive devices that you see here. And over here, you can see that this is the silencer. And he was making a silencer out of an oil filter. And people can, with an adapter, take the oil filter, screw it onto the barrel of the gun, and it becomes a silencer. So you've got a kid who is 24 years old. He's got 3 bombs, a whole cadre of weapons, 2,300 rounds of ammunition. He's got a note that says everybody's going to burn. And you've got him with maps and aerial overviews of an elementary school in Hillsborough County, a middle school in Hillsborough County, and a water treatment plant in Hillsborough County. Very troubling. Again, he's in jail. We have information that some people have inquired about bonding him out. I can tell you that if he does bond out, that we will take him into involuntary custody for mental health examination based on this, but we'll have to see if he gets out. We do have all of this, of course, but it's very concerning. So the investigation is ongoing. We will continue to look at various aspects of this to determine if he is involved with anybody else or any organizations. But from what we can tell right now, at least preliminarily, is that it looks like he's acting alone with all of this. Does anybody have any questions?
Can you talk about the destructive devices, the bombs? What could he have done with these? I mean, in your experience with the amount of stuff that he had, what was he capable of?
Well, it's hard to tell because of the way he had these, but certainly with the metal canisters, and it's the shrapnel that is what causes the greatest devastation and the greatest destruction. And you got a guy that takes a baseball bat and is putting nails in it. I don't know what his plan was, and he had all kinds of books and all kinds of gunpowder, and if he had taken those devices, put them in something else, put a bunch of nails and screws and other things, he could have caused some serious damage. Because it's the shrapnel that hurts and kills everybody from that explosion. So with what he was planning to do with those, it could be very serious.
And nobody knew anything? I mean, this started as a child pornography. The parents, nobody knew anything?
No, the parents say that they knew he had some guns, but they had no idea about all this. Again, it's reminiscent of what we saw recently, in Las Vegas. That guy's a sleeper. Nobody knew anything about that guy. Apparently, I don't know anything about that case, so I can't comment on it. But from the reports, and these are the people that are most concerning to us. What we call the lone wolves, the sleepers that are out there, the people who are not on our radar, the people who have flown under the radar or off of it, that we have no intelligence, we have no criminal information about, nobody's provided any information about. And these really are the most concerning people because you don't know about them until they engage in devastating acts and kill a whole bunch of people. And when you got a guy like this, who's writing this kind of a note, that's serious. He says, "I shall have my bloody revenge, and then the world will burn, burn." With all these weapons and those bombs and that silencer and 2,300 rounds of ammunition, he could do some serious damage.
If he does bond out, can you keep him in custody? Can you, with the psychological testing or whatever, can you say you can't leave, or can he say I don't want it, blah blah blah?
Oh no, we're going to Baker Act him. We're going to take him. We're going to involuntarily commit him to a receiving facility, and then it'll be up to them to evaluate him and make a determination whether he can be released. I can't make that determination. That's going to be up to the receiving facility and the psychiatrist who evaluates him. So if he does bond out of jail, we're going to immediately Baker Act him, involuntary examination, take him to a receiving facility, and have them, based on all this information, it's up to the psychiatrist to make a determination. And if they release him, there's nothing I can do about it.
Because I checked the jail and he has posted bond, so I'm just curious, what is the concern for the public?
Well, I think it's obvious, and that's why we're here. One of the reasons why we're here. Just let everybody know that we're doing what we can. We have all of this. I'm concerned, and that's why we're going to Baker Act him. I mean, the last word I had, and you know, if it's happened in the last, few minutes, is that he has not yet posted bond. I know I can tell you right now he's still in jail.
Can you comment on who has hinted they want to bond him out? Family and
I don't know. I don't know. I know that there was some indication earlier today that there were some inquiries by family, and if they have done that and they've gone to a bondsman, or whether they've come up with the $20,000 or not, I don't know.
What did he say when you guys confronted him?
He wouldn't talk to us, which is, again, concerning in and of itself, is that he refused to talk, refused to provide any statements.
Sheriff, once you found these plans and these maps, did you guys contact these schools in case this guy is working with someone else? Is there a concern that there's still a threat?
I talked to Superintendent Eakins over in Hillsborough County this morning. I made him aware of it. I've talked to Sheriff Chronister in Hillsborough County and made him aware of it as well. So law enforcement authorities and the schools in Hillsborough County are aware of all of this, and they've assured me that they are going to take the necessary steps and the right precautions as it relates to these schools.
Obviously, you say he's working alone, but your investigation is kind of still ongoing if there are others that may be involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Chip, and that's what I said is that best we can tell right now, he's working alone, but it is an ongoing investigation. But it's not unusual in these to find these lone wolves and these people who operate independently. And what's driving this? Everybody's always asking for the motivation. What's behind it? We don't know. He won't talk to us. But I do know is that he has written in his own words, in his own handwriting, a very disturbing letter, and got all of this, put that together with the bombs, went out and got a silencer, created a bat that's got nails in it, and has maps of schools and a water treatment plant. So I don't think it's clear that he's up to something. And what's the triggering event? Why? What's the motivation? What's his hatred? Why does he want the world to burn? I don't know. Hopefully we can try and find out. And we will continue to look at it. But right now, it's an ongoing investigation in regard to whether it's just him or whether anybody else may be involved in.
Sir, can you make me understand how he can have all this stuff and no one knows that he has this stuff in his house?
You can buy gunpowder. You can go anywhere and buy it. You can buy all of those weapons. Doesn't require any permits, doesn't require any registration, doesn't require anything. Technically, the way I understand it, is that he should have had, for the silencer, because it's makeshift, is that you can go buy oil filters all you want. The device that would screw it onto the gun, he probably would have to have some permission if he was going to follow the law. But this isn't the guy that's going to follow the law. So he's going to do it all illegally. So, again, 2,300 rounds of ammo, all those knives, a crossbow, all that stuff. There's nothing here that's anything other than legal to possess, just like the guy in Vegas. You can have all those guns, and you can have all that ammunition, and you can have all of this, and except for, of course, the bombs. And as he put them together like that, individual components. But when you put them together and you make a bomb, well, now it is illegal, and of course we charged him with it. But you can amass all of this.
Looks like these were on display. Looks like they have names. He clearly put a lot of time into this.
He did. He named his guns. That's weird. I mean, I don't know how else to say that. He's naming his guns, writing this, schools with maps, making bombs. Yeah, I think it's, who names their guns?
Didn't see this display?
They say not. They say that they really didn't know anything about this, and we're not aware of what was going on.
Obviously, this is very serious, but when you guys were there, did you find anything related to the child pornography investigation?
Not so far, we haven't. We'll say that this room was in his bedroom, and it was a door that was locked and had a combination lock on it in his bedroom. So, but no, we so far, although they seized computers from the house, we so far have not found any child pornography. It doesn't mean it's not there. As soon as we went in and saw this, the focus of the investigation, of course, changed from the child pornography to this.
And the combination on the lock wasn't a red flag for mom and dad?
Apparently not. Apparently not. And it's concerning.
Sorry, you said it.
Yeah, it was a bedroom, like a closet in the closet bedroom, a closet in the bedroom. Yeah. No. But a lot of these, again, these guns and the handguns, the AR, one of them that this 50 caliber. Think about it, how big that is. This 50 caliber pistol. That's a big gun, 50 caliber pistol. This is, again, that's a silencer. You got this crossbow, you got all this ammo, you got tactical vests that he had. Those are tactical vests. All the magazines.
Did you know offhand where he worked?
The last time that he worked that we know of was in 2015, and he worked at Florida Firearms Academy in Newport Richey. From what we can tell is that he came into work armed with a gun strapped to his thigh, wearing a flak jacket, and they didn't want him working there anymore after he did that. So that was back in 2015. From what we know, he hasn't worked anywhere since 2015. So he was at least distributing some suspicious behavior at a minimum back in 2015 when they fired him from Florida Firearms Academy.
I'm just wondering, in order to afford all of this stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll continue to look at that.
Did his parents voice any concerns about his mental state?
No. Again, nobody's really talking to us that much. He's not talking. I'm getting limited information from people. We talked to his girlfriend. She couldn't really provide much other than say he's a nice guy and he's not violent. Really? So.
Sheriff, did you find anything that would make these guns from semi-automatic to automatic, like bump stocks and anything like that?
Nothing like that. Nothing. Certainly high capacity weapons, a lot of ammunition, but nothing like that. No bump stocks.
Has he been associated, or have you found any associations with any concerning groups or ties to hate groups or anything like that?
No. Best we can tell, again, he appears to be acting on his own, what I would characterize and what we would call as a lone wolf, somebody who acts independently. But we haven't been able to link him to any groups or organizations or causes. But it's an ongoing investigation. We'll continue to look at that and see what we can find.
Did he have a license to carry or any permits?
You don't need it. You don't need any licenses. Unless you're going to carry it concealed, you don't need a license for any of this. The only thing you would need a license, quote, you would need a permit for is a portion of what would be the silencer. But other than that, and again, it doesn't mean he's following the law, but there's no requirement that you have any licenses or permits for any of this. You can just own it.
When you said he had maps of these sites and these locations, was it just aerials, or did he actually have like blueprints and maps? And
No, what you see here is what he had, and these are the locations, and they're pretty close to where he used to live over in Tampa. So this is where he used to live here in Tampa, and you got the water treatment facility, you got S-Rate Elementary School and Ben Hill Middle School. But he had these overhead aerial views of those facilities, all within all this stuff.
Will you call this an arsenal?
Yeah, I think that's a fair characterization. I mean, it seems like an arsenal to me, when you got that amount, especially 2,300 rounds of ammunition, all these long guns, rifles, shotguns, handguns, 50 caliber pistols, AK-47s. Yeah, I would call it an arsenal.
Sheriff, if he's proved competent, what kind of charges is he facing here just to have this stuff? He didn't shoot anybody or?
Yeah, I mean, just, having the incendiary devices, basically the bombs, they're felony charges. He's facing 2 felony charges right now.
What his bond is?
20,000 total, 10,000 on each count.
Do you know how long he worked at the last place?
I don't know how long he worked there. I know he was terminated from there in 2015, but I don't know how long he worked there.
And then during the search, was he there, and how did that go down?
Yeah, detectives executed a search warrant of the house again for the child pornography. He was there.
Did he open the block for you guys, the room, or?
They were able to gain access to it. They didn't have to use any forced entry, so they were able to get into it. All right, anybody have anything else? All right, thanks. Placing incendiary, or I'm sorry.